What up, Blockheads? In today's video, I'm going to be going over a couple reasons as to why I chose to buy the Honda Grom. That's one reason. Oh, it's fun. Alright, so pretty much with every bike that I have purchased and gotten, ridden, all that stuff, the bikes that I actually choose to purchase, I always make a video talking about the reasons that I purchased them. I know YouTube likes those videos a lot, and the reason is because YouTube is the second largest search engine, right? Google being number one, but people go to YouTube to do a lot of research, you know? They research like crazy, and whenever I was looking for my first bike, you know, I was doing a lot of searching as to, you know, why people bought it. So hopefully this will be one of those videos for you guys out there that are deciding, thinking about getting a Honda Grom. So yeah, I do have a couple reasons as to why I bought it, but the number one reason why I bought the Honda Grom is because of my finances. And what I mean by that is that obviously should be a large consideration into the motorcycles that you do choose. If you're not going to buy it outright and you have to make payments and all that, obviously you need to be responsible, right, in your spending. I mean, it's a super cheap bike, but I traded in a CBR 1000RR for two Honda Groms because, one, I wasn't riding the CBR, and you know, the closest track to us is freaking like in Georgia, and you know, I'm in Orlando, Florida. The CBR just wasn't getting ridden enough for how much I was spending for it, and so I was putting, I mean, the monthly payment was, you know, no big deal, but it was the insurance that really sucked, because the insurance was like just over $2,000 a year. That was just totally insane, and I didn't like paying that much money on just insurance for a bike that I wasn't hardly ever riding. You know, it doesn't make sense to me to let a bike sit in the garage, and so I decided to basically trade that in for two Honda Groms, where insurance, obviously quite a bit cheaper. You're looking at insurance for brand new, for me, and I mean it's going to vary by person, but for a brand new 2018 Honda Grom, fully covered insurance is like, what is it, like 100 and, it's between like 150 and 170 a year, which is freaking awesome. What's up, dude? It's so stupid that we can't filter or split, man. California, you lucky in that aspect. So yeah, the number one reason that I chose it was because of finances. You know, it's like I was looking to get out of the high payments for the CBR. Grom, obviously way cheaper. You know, I'm not going to get all into the financing a bike versus buying it outright, because that's just two totally different schools of thought. I do need to make a video talking about financing a bike that you can totally manage payments on and keeping your money in the bank, where it does you better versus just emptying your bank account or taking a significant hit to your bank account. Keep the money in the bank, building your credit score, etc., etc. Anyways, I'm not getting into all that. Like I said, that'll be a different video. So the second reason that I decided to purchase the Honda Grom is because of the community behind them. Had a lot of friends that own, you know, these smaller pit bikes. If y'all watch the channel at all, there's been a couple personalities on the channel, such as Giselle, Dana, Josh. Dana and Josh work at Orlando Harley. They have, you know, Groms. I know Josh heavily modifies his, and he's really into them. And then, you know, Mickey, he's been in a couple of videos. He's basically the guy that's in charge of the Orlando Goon Squad. He's ridden with us a couple times, did some test ride videos with us on Harleys. But the community for Groms is crazy awesome, man. It's like a real big community for them. And like here in Orlando, there's a pretty good following for them. One of the big things is, you know, you can't Grom alone. And so, like, in addition to that community, I also, like I said, I traded in my CBR 1000RR for two Groms. Anyways, yeah, so I traded it in for two Groms so that basically her and I could ride together. You know, she's got a cruiser, but you know, getting on this bike is totally different. It's just it's a different machine, and it's a lot of fun, man. Despite it being a 125cc, you know, it's not like insane powerful, but it doesn't mean it's not a lot of fun. So yeah, the community behind them, super freaking awesome. I mean, you've got like Grom squads and Goon squads, and you know, like mini bike squads, and the culture behind them is just really super awesome. Because there's such a large community behind it, that leads me to my third reason that I purchased the Honda Grom, and that is the ability to modify it. So obviously if there's a lot of demand for a bike, you know, there's going to be a lot of aftermarket manufacturers that are interested in participating and having people buy their parts for that bike, because it's a good business move, right? Well, so there's a huge community behind the Honda Grom, and because of that, there's a absolute ton of modification options. And I mean, like, the fact that I'm able to take those turns like fully pinned, it's awesome, man. The bike is just a lot of fun. But yeah, the amount of aftermarket modifications that you can do to this bike is just totally endless. So right now on the bike, and I've got more parts on the way, but you know, I worked with TST Industries previously on my CBR, and so I hit them up again for the Grom to see if they'd be interested in working with me. And I made a couple of videos, how-to videos on how to install some stuff. Give me a second, I'll find a friggin' parking spot after I hit this turn. Get like super tucked. This bike is so fun, man. So yeah, aftermarket options for this thing. So I've got a long ways to go on it. I've got a exhaust on the way. Thus far I've done the bar and mirrors. I'm changing out the bars. I changed out the grips, but changing those over again because I don't like these little pieces right here. Changing out the grips. I'm changing out the levers. Like I said, I'm doing some different bars. Gonna throw some different tires on there. Changed out the side markers for the flush mounts right there. I did the fender eliminator back here. Did the stealth license plate lights, the license plate light underneath there as well. And dude, there's just an absolute, I mean, you can get fairing kits for them, you know, like, so it makes it look more sporty. You can get like these little underbelly pan pieces, and they're all super cheap too, man. It's all super cheap, which is awesome. I mean, obviously it should be super cheap because the parts are really small, right? But the cool thing is that you can, like, even if you were to put this bike down, the replacement OEM fairings for them are like $140. Like, you can get a full OEM fairing kit for 140 bucks. So if I drop this bike, scratch up the fairings, it's like not a huge deal. Not that I want to. I don't want to spend that money. I don't want to drop the bike. But if I do, you know, that's cool to know that it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg like it would for a traditional sport bike to replace the fairings. Because man, sport bike fairings, especially OEM, you know, stock sport bike fairings, freaking like $1,000, man. They're really expensive. I was looking some up on eBay the other day because I still got my CBR 1000 RR stock fairings, and they're going anywhere between like $800 to $1,200. So it's cheap, man. Tons of aftermarket options for this thing, and really cheap. Now you can get expensive. I mean, you can spend a lot of money on these things. I've seen people like into them for thousands and thousands of dollars. I know there's people that spend a ridiculous amount on them. Like, there's exhaust manufacturers out there that will charge you like the cost of like a regular sport bike exhaust, right? You know, like $400, 400 to like 600 bucks. Which I'm not putting an exhaust that expensive on this bike. Eighth the cost of the damn bike. Nah, I'm good. Yeah, tons of aftermarket options, man. You can, I mean, I've seen people build them out into cafe racers, into you know, like look like CBRs, the Repsol edition ones. I've seen people build them out into like just like slammed lowered. They, you know, put like extended swing arms on them. There's just an absolute endless amount of stuff that you can do to these things. All right, so what are the reasons so far? Finances, community, aftermarket options. Oh yeah, this is probably one of the biggest reasons, but dude, they are fun as hell. So Miss Blockhead and I were talking about this the other day, about how whenever we go to the garage and there's the bikes and we're sitting there making our selection, how do we choose basically which bike that we want to take? Dropping some stickers off, mailing some stickers out for some people, a couple people that want some stickers. There you go. Thanks for playing. Oh man, I'm gonna be stuck here forever. Unless I turn around, make a U-turn. Grom downside, doesn't register at lights. So we're being down in the garage and you're like, okay, what do I want to take? Do I want to take the Grom or do I want to take the Harley? Well, so here's the difference. The Harley is like wearing pants, like, right? Lounging around the house, and I'm like, you know, I want to go get some food, but I don't want to put my pants on. I'd rather just stay in my gym shorts because it's easy, right? Because it's comfortable, because it's, you know, whatever. That's a Grom. A Grom is gym shorts. A Grom is basically being able to swing a leg over on this bike and be able to do this right here. You know, I'm just hopping like parking lot to parking lot, going on these little back roads and stuff, and dude, nobody cares because it's a little tiny bike, man. Like if I were on my Harley right now, you know, it'd be big and loud and blah 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 blah, right? That's the sound Harley makes. I don't know if you guys knew that, but that's totally how Harley sounds, is blah 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 blah. Oh, loading ramp. Guess what I'm not doing? Going off of that bitch. But yeah, it's just easy, man. It's easy to swing a leg over the Grom and take it just like around town. Granted, you're not going to be, you know, riding like over an hour away or anything. Like, we've taken these things across Orlando, but it's all back roads, you know. And there are some people that take I-4 and take highways and stuff, but pff, man, not me. That's crazy. I know how people here in Orlando drive, and no way in hell I would be taking this thing on a major road like the interstate. It just would not happen. Now, there are people that, you know, put big bore kits in them, and I heard putting an exhaust and an intake on them really opens them up a bit, but nah, man, not I. But yeah, for just like around town, man, these things are like the perfect little bike. They're easy, they're fun, pretty much take it like wherever the hell you want. People are always like looking over, and like even when I was just got on the bike and I was leaving where I live, you know, I had a neighbor basically say like, oh man, I love that bike, what is it? You know, he's just sitting there asking me about it. You know, Miss Block and I, we go to Winter Garden, and like whenever we park them, dude, they get so much love. Versus, you know, if I was on the Harley, people are like, oh yeah, man, that's a nice bike, that's a cool Harley. But I don't know, for some reason, people just love the fact that this is like a little tiny, small bike. It's nimble as hell, man. It's just a lot of fun to ride. It's leisurely, you know. Dude, I have no idea where I am right now. I'm lost all up in this. Was it the Quorum Center? Oh, it's a nice BRZ. There we go. Found my way out. Awesome. So yeah, what do we have so far? We've got finances, community, aftermarket options, basically the convenience of it. I think that's probably about it. I mean, that's a lot of really good perks to the Honda Grom. What do you guys think? I will say, maybe this is another reason, but I didn't really realize this was something whenever I was buying the bike. But riding this bike and me basically feeling more confident on it because of how lightweight and nimble it is, you know, I'm able to like throw it around a lot, and you know, I can like smash the rear brake and squeal the tires and all that stuff. Basically, it's caused me to be more confident in my riding. You know, like I'm not going to do that with my freaking Harley because it's an expensive bike and it's a heavy bike. And if I were to do any of that, you know, be stupid and mess around, you know, I could drop it, and dropping that thing, it's going to cost me a lot of money to replace. Or not even replace, but to repair it, you know? Like if I freaking drop it and dent or scratch the tank, dude, have you seen the price of freaking motorcycle tanks, especially Harley tanks? They're not the cheapest things ever, I'll tell you that right now. It's I don't know what that is. It's caused me to become more confident in my riding on other bikes because of the ability to do that, you know, slam the rear brake. I've kind of learned how to control that a little bit more. I've learned how to, you know, really hit on brakes and find those limits, which makes you more comfortable in other applications. What are we honking at, man? Come on, let's go, guys. Damn. What shit is he doing? But yeah, man, just overall, dude, for the amount of money that you spend on this bike, and you can find them used all day for super cheap. Like, to be honest, if I had to do it again, I'd probably buy it used, just for the fact that the Gen 1s have a larger it has a larger amount of like aftermarket options and, you know, products to select that you can modify it out. Like, you know, finding a seat for a Gen 2 like the 2018, man, it's a little more difficult, but there's so many more options for the Gen 1. So had I known that before I bought it, I definitely would have bought a Gen 1 instead of a Gen 2. But, you know, as the Gen 2s are out longer, they've only been, what, it's like 16 and 17 are the new model years. So as they're out longer, you know, there'll be more aftermarket manufacturers that basically start making parts for them and all that. So that's not a huge deal. But for the amount that you pay for them, they're just an insane amount of fun. You can do so much stuff to them. And I mean, they're lightweight, they're nimble, you can freaking go anywhere you want with them. They're not going to be big and heavy like like these bikes, but these bikes have their place too, man. I own a 2017 Harley Lowrider S, freaking Dyna. It's a 110 cubic inch. Thing is an absolute beast, and I love it. But that has its application, you know. It's going to be the bike that I ride to Key West. I'm not going to be taking this one to Key West, although probably put it in the back of the truck now and take it to some places, which will be a lot of fun. That's one of our plans, is to throw them in the back of the truck. Anyways, before I step in here, just go ahead and wrap it up. I don't know, you guys let me know what you think, man. It's a really fun bike. I don't regret buying it at all, man. It's been a ton of fun, and you know, I love working on bikes too, so that's like one of the big reasons that I choose the bikes that I do, is because of those aftermarket options and the ability to, you know, modify and change them out to basically be the bike that you want it to be. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Those are the couple of the reasons that I got it. It's cheap, it's easy, it's fun, it's a win-win-win. There are a couple downsides, but I'll go over a couple downsides in a separate video. Y'all be sure to check that out. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you guys aren't subscribed already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. Hit the bell icon over there so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Be part of that notification squad. And until next time, you guys ride safe out there. Stay vigilant. And I will catch y'all later. Deuces. Yeah, so you can just roll up into Harley dealerships with these things. I love parking this thing up here. It's great. Alright. Later, guys.